Production and costs. Question number 1. What does the production function of a firm refer to? Production function is a technological relationship which tells the maximum output producible from various combinations of factors of production. Number 2. What is average product? Average product is defined as the output per unit of variable input. We calculate it AP equal to TP by X1 equal to F X1 delta 1 X2 by X2. What is marginal product? Marginal product of an input is defined as the change in output per unit of change in the input when all other inputs are held constant. Thus, MP1 equal to change in output by change in input equal to del Q by del X1. Distinguish short run and long run. The differences between short and long run are as follows. Short run refers to a period in which output can be changed by change in only variable factors of production. But long run refers to a period in which output can be changed by change in all factors of production. Number 2. Both fixed and variable factors are present in the short run, but only variable factors are present in the long run. Law of returns to a factor operates in the short run, but law of returns to scale operates in the long run. Distinguish between fixed input and variable input. The differences between variable inputs and fixed inputs are as follows. Variable factors refers to those factors whose quantity can be changed in order to change the quantity of output. For example, raw materials, daily wage of labor, etc. But fixed input refer to those factors which remain the same only in short run, irrespective of the quantity of output produced. For example, building, machinery, permanent staff, etc. Number 2. Variable factors are present in both short and long run, but fixed factors are present only in short run. State the law of diminishing marginal product. The law of diminishing marginal product states that when more and more units of variable factors of production are employed, marginal product initially increases, then starts decreasing and even becomes negative. Number 7. State the law of variable product proportion. The law of variable proportion states that when the ratio between fixed and variable factors of production is altered, total perfect initially increases at an increasing rate, and then it increases at a diminishing rate, and then it increases at a diminishing rate, and finally starts decreasing. Question number 8. State the reason behind the working of the law of diminishing marginal product. The reasons of diminishing returns to a factor and then it increases at a diminishing rate and finally starts decreasing. State the reasons behind the working of the law of diminishing marginal product. The reasons of diminishing returns to a factor are: number 1, optimum combination of factors of production. Among the different combinations of fixed and variable factor, there is one optimum combination at which total production is maximum. Hence, beyond this optimum combination, total product will start decreasing. Number 2. Imperfect substitute. Increasing of variable factors of production is not a perfect substitute for increasing production. There is a limit to which one factor of production can be substituted for another. Beyond this extent, it only the variable factor of production is increased. Total product will start decreasing. Distinguish between input and output. Answer. Whatever is used in the production process is called an input or a factor of production. Next paragraph. Whatever is obtained from the process is an output. Explain the concept of total product, average product, and marginal product. Oh! And represent them with the help of an imaginary table. Total product refers to the total quantity of goods produced by a firm with the given inputs during a specified period of time. It signifies relationship between the variable input and output, keeping all other inputs constant. We write it as Q equal to F x1, x2. Here, factor to constant. It signifies relationship between the variable input and output, keeping all other inputs constant. We write it as Q equal to F x1, x2. Here, factor to constant at the amount of x2 and vary factor 1. Then for each value of x1 we get a value of q. Average product is defined as the output per unit of variable input. We calculate it as F equal to Tp by x1, where x1 is the level of employment of the variable input. Marginal product of an input is defined as the change in output per unit of change in the input when all other inputs are held constant. When factors 2 is held constant, the marginal product of factor 1 is MP equal to change in output by change in input. Imaginary table. Fixed factor, unit of labor, total product, average product, marginal product, MP. Show the relationship of short-run marginal cost, average cost, and variable cost with the help of curves and explain. Initially, as output increases, AVC, average variable cost, and ATC fall and then rise as output increases. The distance between the ATC curve and the ABC curve gets smaller as output increases. AFC is a high percentage of ATC at early levels of output and low percentage of ATC as output increases. Alternatively speaking, ABC is a low percentage of ATC at early levels of output and high percentage of ATC at higher levels of output. So, at higher levels of output, ATC comes closer to ABC. However, ATC and ABC curves never intersect each other since AFC can never be of 0 or negative. ATC will always be greater than ABC marginal cost curve like all, and ABC curves falls in the beginning, then intersects the ABC and ATC curves at their minimum points BMC respectively. Q2 is the capacity output where ATC curve reaches the maximum point. The output that corresponds to minimum SAC is called capacity output. SMC is less than SAC when SAC is falling and more than the SAC when SAC is rising. Therefore, SMC cuts the SAC curve from below at the minimum point of SAC. Show with the help of diagram that the total cost is the vertical sum of total fixed cost and total variable cost. The fixed cost of a firm are those costs that do not vary with the size of its output. The variable cost of a firm are those costs that do not vary with the size of its output. Examples of fixed costs are interact on the investment fixed capital, namely plant and equipment. Number 2, insurance charges. Number 3, salary of permanent employees, etc. Examples of variable cost are wages of temporary staff. Number 2, payment for raw materials. Number 3, wear and repair of machines. Output, total fixed cost, total variable cost, total cost. Since total fixed cost remains constant at all levels of output, TFC curve becomes a straight line parallel to horizontal axis. TBC changes with change in output. It initially increases at a decreasing rate as output increases, and then it increases at an increasing rate with increases in output. Since a constant fixed cost is added to total variable cost at different levels of output, the shape of TC curve is the same as that of the TBC curve. Note that TC curve does not originate from the point of origin but from the starting point of TFC. This is because TFC equal to TC at all level of output. The vertical distance between the TBC curve and TC curve is the same at all levels of output. Therefore, like the TBC curve, TC curve first increases at a decreasing rate and then at an increasing rate. State that the average fixed cost curve is a rectangular hyperbola. Average fixed cost curve is the ratio of TFC to output Q. When output is very close to zero, AFC is large and the output moves towards infinity. AFC moves towards zero. AFC curve is in fact a rectangular hyperbola. If we multiply any value of Q of output with its corresponding value of AFC, we always get a constant, that is TFC. It will be clear from the following diagram. In the above diagram, the area of the rectangular OFC and OF1 C1 Q1 are equal because OFC Q equal to OF into CQ. AFC into Q equal to OF1 C1 Q1 equal to OF1 into OQ1 equal to AFC into Q. Since AFC into Q equal to TFC, which is constant, area of since AFC into Q equal to TFC, which is constant, therefore area of OFCQ equal to area of OF1 C1 Q1. As AFC not equal to 0, so the FC curve will never touch or cut the horizontal axis. Draw and explain the shape of the average variable cost curve. Average variable cost is the per unit variable cost of producing a commodity. It is obtained by dividing the total variable cost by the output, that is ABC equal to TBC by output. It should be noted that Initially, ABC decreases as output increases, but after reaching the stage of minimum cost, ABC starts increasing. It is so because in the initial stage of production, the law of increasing returns to a factor operates, but after a point, the law of diminishing returns begins to operate. ABC curve is thus U-shaped. This has been shown by the following diagram. Draw the total product curve of a typical farm and explain it. When more and more units of a variable factor are employed with fixed factors, initially TP curve increases at an increasing rate, then increases at diminishing rate, and finally starts falling. Thus, TP curve passes through three phases. In fact, TP, that means total product curve, shows rate of change in output when quantities of a variable factor are increased. The point on TP curve where the slope of TP changes from increasing rate of diminishing rate is known as point of inflection. This is denoted by point K in the diagram. This slope of TP curve remains positive in first two phases of production and then becomes zero when it reaches its maximum point and finally becomes negative in the third phase of production. Give the meaning of increasing returns to scale, decreasing returns to scale, and constant returns to scale. Increasing returns to scale. In this stage, due to proportionate increase in the variable factors of production, output increases more proportionately. Decreasing return to scale. In this stage, due to proportionate increase in the variable factors of production, output increases less proportionately. Number 3. Constant returns to scale. In this stage, due to proportionate increase in the variable factors of production, output increases in the same proportion. Number 4. Law of returns to scale. Law of returns to scale studies the law of level of increase in the variable factors of production. Question number 10. Explain the relationship between average product and marginal product with the help of diagram. The relationship between marginal product and average product are as follows. When average product increases, marginal product lies about it. Marginal product cuts average product at its maximum. The reason behind this is that the rate of change in marginal product is greater than the rate of change in average product. So when AP rises, it lies below MP, and when AP falls, it lies above MP1. When average product decreases, marginal product lies below it. This can be shown by the following diagram. OY axis, OX axis, MP, marginal product, AP, average product. What is isoquant? Explain graphically. Isoquant or isoproduct curve shows different combinations of two inputs which yield the same maximum possible level of output. Here y axis or x axis, input 2, input 1. IQ3, IQ2, IQ1. Here IQ1, IQ2 and IQ3 represents the ISO product curves in which the higher level of output. So IQ3 represents the maximum level of output using input and input 2. What is an isoquant? Isoquant shows different combination of two inputs which yield the same maximum possible level of output. Right, true or false? In the long run, there is no fixed output. True. Fill in the blanks. TC equal to dash by TFC. Answer TBC. Question number 15. In which situation a production function satisfies increasing returns to scale? Number 1. Specialized machines are used due to increase of scale of production, which results in increase in output by a larger proportion. Division of labor is apparent due to increase in scale of production, which results in higher productivity. Number 3. But discounts are also availed by a firm when scale of production increases, which reduces the per unit cost of raw materials, and as a result output increases in a greater proportion. When does production function hold constant returns to scale? Control coordination, when the scale of production is further enhanced, the problem of control and coordination comes into picture. It happens because as the firm expands, coordination becomes difficult. However, the benefit provided the problems of control and coordination counterbalances each other, and as a result production increases in the same proportion as the variable factors of productions are increased. Define long run average cost and long run marginal cost and explain their nature with the help of corresponding curve. Long run average cost curve refers to the per unit long run total cost, which is expressed as long run average cost equal to LTC by Q, where L is equal to long run average cost, LTC long run total cost, Q quantity of output. Long run marginal cost refers to the addition to the long run total cost to produce an extra unit of output, which is expressed as LMC n equal to LTC n minus LTC n minus 1, where LMC n equal to long run marginal cost at nth unit of output, LTC n equal to long run total cost at nth unit of output, LTC n minus 1 long run total cost at n minus 1 whole bracket unit of output. Let us understand the concept of cost in the long run with the help of a schedule. Output LMC, LTC, LAC. 3,500, 4,800. This diagram really show LMC and LAC. State the reason behind U-shaped short-run marginal cost curve. The short-run marginal cost curve is U-shaped because of the law of variable proportion. Initially, when TP increases at an increasing rate, SMC falls. Then, when TP increases at a diminishing rate and finally starts falling, SMC continues to rise. This gives a U shape to the SMC curve. Define average variable cost. Average variable cost refers to the per unit variable cost of output produced.